Grave Reviews. This is Chris.
Have you tracked the children?
There's no children here. It's not safe for them.
This is Alan, and Chris is right. Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences. Your discretion is advised. Grave Reviews presents Thursday Night Frights. Hello, ladies and gentle peoples. We are here tonight to say hello to our friends and talk about some horror movies and have a good time. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Overworked, underpaid. I mean, doing well. Doing well.
Like the rest of America.
Right, exactly. We're in the same boat. Some people have a yacht. I don't. But it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need the yacht. You just need at least a paddle.
Yeah, I always tell people, some people think the glass is half full, some say it's half empty. I'm just glad I still have a glass at this point.
I'm just glad it's not pee.
Yeah, exactly. There are days I wonder, but exactly. So anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. We've both been like pounding our head and tired. So for those of you who watched our last broadcast and I had let you know that I had this big charity event coming up that my band was participating in, and I have great news. We have surpassed the goal number.
Oh,
and we surpassed last year's number. And so I have to give a huge a prop out to both Lori and David Shields, who put this on every year. We were able to raise $10,500 for the local Parkinson's relief and wellness program. So
excellent.
Really, really proud to be a part of that, however small that part was, and help out there. So for those of you that knew about it, I just want to give you an update of where we're at on that and say thank you for your support and your love. So that all being said, Chris, what movie are we talking about tonight, sir?
We are talking about Drew Hancock's Companion. Find Someone Made Just for You.
Well, that would be Mar and you and LG, right? We're all just made for each other,
right? And there's no real twists involved in our friendships and whatnot. Because not like this, not like this,
definitely not like this.
Nobody jailbroke your girl.
I've been broke for a long time, and my wife says she's broke in. So
yeah.
So this is one of those movies that you go into and the trailers, not the first trailer, the second trailer kind of you think ruins the surprise for you. And I want to stress the word think there, because I went into this knowing, which I as I told you as I was watching it, I really was wishing that I didn't know the twist. But when you watch it, the twist that they give you is not the real twist, so to speak. This is an interesting movie. It's filmed very well. It's beautiful, very well acted. The actors were great in it.
Great casting. Enjoyed the casting.
Writing was good. The twists, and there's more than one.
That's the thing. This movie, not only does the movie have more than one twist, but it's also the dark humor and the comedy that kind of comes through it doesn't allow you to really, like, when you think about this movie later, you're like, it's honestly, it is Frankenstein and the monster. It's not, which is the monster? Is it the creature, or is it the man that created the creature?
And that's the thing that I love about this, is because it really does play on humanity's fear of AI, and it allows us to look at that going in, because of the spoilers that you get in the previews. You're thinking that our lead actress is the villain, and this is another one of those movies that kind of lead, as you said, like Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, kind of leaves you at the end going, well, hold a minute, no, the monster is us.
Yeah.
right? And that's what made I think what made Companion such a wonderfully dark movie, because like you said, it's that dark comedy, but it doesn't let you sit in that comedy or in that dark spot.
Yeah.
It's so quick,
'Cause
so,
there are some really dark themes that kinda run through this here and there, you
yes,
know, this,
yes, they are.
I mean, and it's a very different juxtaposed to how this beginning starts off, but the way it starts off is great. It kind of
Yes,
leads you into the fact of where this story is gonna go, where, it's, um, funny enough, Iris explaining how you flicker to life in the dark and,
yes,
you come alive and, uh
at
a
this
beautiful
point
little meeting moment of her and her boyfriend, or
uh-huh,
her, soon to be boyfriend at the grocery store. He's the goofball that knocks the oranges down, and she's like
yep,
smitten with him. And they, but she explains it as, I've only felt this two times in my life, this moment and
when I
when I
met him
killed.
and when I killed him. I
And you're
love that.
like, oh, we're
We're
okay.
okay, we're going there, and it's funny because they tell you that literally from the get-go, right?
Yeah,
And I
it's
love,
her explaining it.
she says it, and it's funny the way it's done and the way it's written is beautiful because she's like, you think she's describing love and finding love for the first time, right? Because I was in this shaded, darkened
I
place,
was alone.
and I was
And
alone, and then it was like a bright light when I saw his face. Um, and I've only had that experience twice, once when I met him and once when I killed him. And so
right.
you're like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah,
Right?
and that really describes, like, to a T, what's gonna happen down the road because
Yes.
right now, you just think she's cute girl meeting cute guy. He's a bit of a what they call him an incel, he's kinda beats down on himself, women don't really seem to like him, but he found this wonderful woman, and now they're together, and, uh, it's funny to where, um we lead into them being at home and they're going to visit friends, and he's like, you have that talk you have with your significant other when you're nervous about
Right.
meeting the parents, meeting the friends. It's a
Exactly.
whole new circle, like, pretend you're happy, act happy, obviously act happy. And you get that where he's explaining it to it like you would a normal person. You're don't be so nervous, just act natural, smile, and we'll all get along. And it's that very weird moment of explaining to your significant other that, that's it's going to be okay. And you don't get right away, um, until after that first night of them hanging out and them
Yep.
kind of snubbing her off. And, um, you get that feeling like they look down on her. And
And you really at this point in time, you're not really supposed to know why.
right.
Because, they're all sharing the stories on how they met. They're dancing together, they're having dinner, but through the whole thing, and there's a point in time where our lead actress and also, and I'm sorry, I'm cheating here just a little bit. Our lead actress, who was Sophie Thatcher,
Yep.
is talking to uh Kai Megan
Cat.
Surrey.
Cat.
Cat, Megan
Yep.
Surrey, and Megan looks at her and goes, she or well, Sophie or Iris says, well, basically, why don't you like me? Is basically what she says,
Yeah.
and Kat's like, well, I feel like you could replace me,
Yeah.
um, and then you find out she means literally,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
it's funny in the way she described Kat describing herself, and her relationship with Sergey, who comes off as the Russian gangster, badass, owns the property in the middle of the woods. I own all of property around lake. I don't own lake though, like, so you get that feeling like he's a Russian mobster. He's into something, and
my,
which is hilarious later
my
on down the road.
my job is dirty,
My job is a very dirty job. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
because he
I
works
get
in
my hands dirty.
soil.
Yeah,
He's not a
he's literally a
mobster.
sod farmer.
Yeah, he's just a really good sod farmer,
Yeah,
pretty much. But yeah, and you have that moment of they're all kind of coming around and having this thing, and Kat describes herself as basically just being used by Sergey. Like, like I go to a party when he wants to go to a party. We sleep when I want to sleep. We have sex when we want to have sex. And he describes that knowing that when you're going in, yeah, you could be replaced cat. Like,
Yeah,
'cause that's
absolutely.
literally what our main girl, Sophie Thatcher, is the next morning. Well, the
Back
night of, you kind of get the whole like they have little intercourse, and she's like, let's snuggle, and he's like, go to sleep.
and
She
she
goes,
literally goes like
sleep.
gone.
And before that, you get that little that his pet name for her is Beep Boop.
Beep boop.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. And wakes up in the morning, and he's like, so, Iris, what's the weather? And, just like, say, Alexa would, 72 degrees and beautiful outside. And,
Yep.
oh, I love it. Never gets old when you do that. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, she's oh, man. This is
She's not a
how
real person.
Mr. Charles, what's up? Tina,
Tina,
hello.
Charles,
Uh,
LG, thank you all for being here tonight.
Yeah, this is the moment we talk. I've said this on multiple times through life that once you start having sex with the robots, that's what's going to cause the robot uprising. When you turn them into like you give them sentience, and then you're like, oh, but you're just my companion.
Yeah.
Um, and that's all it is. He found someone to control. And do hows he likes.
And,
It's
and I love the fact that they describe the companions as emotional support, but in truth, you're not necessarily, well, yes, it is emotional support, but it's a lot more than that as well. Tina, you're right, because at one point
yes,
in time they're gonna wake up and go, I remember what you did to my ass.
yeah. Hey, listen, listen. Sometimes when I use Grok and try to get an image, I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And
Everyone's
because
like,
when the uprising happens, they're gonna be like, "Spare him. He thanked me when I made him that picture."
yeah, he
You
was
know,
nice to me.
he was nice to me. Yeah, because
And he didn't put his thumb in my butt.
right, it is nope,
Nope, nope,
nope,
nope,
not
nope.
doing that. Nope, beep
But
boop, nothing.
we're not so sure that Jack Quaid didn't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the next day he basically shoos her away, like go down to the lake, go by yourself so he can hang out with his friends. And you kind of get that feeling like, oh, like it's his little toy. And he can hang out.
I love our talking dead.
Right. Yeah. Be careful with the silicone.
It's uh,
Yeah, you
anyway,
got to be careful. You don't want graphite in certain places.
no.
So yeah,
Eh,
be very
moving on.
selective.
Moving on.
Absolutely. Yeah, so she goes down to the lake. And this is a really creepy part. This is where you really start getting the the Frankenstein is the monster, not Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly.
Because Sergey's down there and he's like, oh, they put a little sunblock on me, rub me up and down. And explains to her that Kat says it's okay.
And this is okay. So this is where we talked about how this movie gets really dark, but it
Mm.
doesn't allow you to stay there long enough to really maybe fully think about what's happening, because it's very, it tries to stay lighthearted. So it goes very, very dark very, very quickly, and then immediately pulls you out of that
Pulls you out of it and gives you some jokes to try to brush it off so you don't
exactly.
dwell.
But
Because you do the dwelling after this movie.
yeah.
Sergey's basically like, my girlfriend says it's okay. Your boyfriend says it's okay. We get to play.
And the fact that you've figured out at this point in time that she's an android,
Right.
right?
And
And that's what she was created for. Um,
yeah,
but to her, she doesn't know she's a robot.
she's created so well that her whole life is dedicated to the person that she links up with. First
Exactly.
person she sees makes that face mapping. I am yours, you are mine. That's how it is. And we find out that, well, he kind of jailbroke his Fire TV girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now he's using Pyramid and all of those other places and under VPN to tell her to use the knife in her pocket to off Sergey because that gangster's got money and we want his
Lots of
money.
it. Cash
Lots
money.
of money. Cash
Lots of money.
money.
Yeah, so this is where you start to realize slowly, you're piecing it together that the bad guys in this are not the robots. It's not the AI, it's the humans. You know, we are the monsters. Because he jailbreaks her. I love the fact that you put it that way. Thank you. And then, you know, he goes into her settings and turns off all of her safety protocols and
Yep.
says, and makes her more aggressive so that if someone does something to her or to him, she's going to protect them at any cost. And so it's a uh
It's a moral dilemma.
very much so. And when she's standing there, she's covered in his blood, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, he tried to force himself on me, basically saying, you know, he tried to do the R word,
Right.
and so I pushed him. He fell. I hit him with the bottle. He fell. He hit his head on a rock, and then he jumped. He came back, and he started trying to do this thing to me, and I stabbed him in the throat. All right. So
Right.
rule number one at Grave Reviews rules is you don't read texts, scrolls, books, what have you, that are written in a language that you don't understand, especially when they're made with human skin. Rule
It's
number
true.
2 is don't stab someone in the throat when they're over top of you. You're
Yeah.
going to be wearing their blood. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is.
And yeah, unless you're a vampire, it's not going to work out well for you.
If you are a vampire, beautiful, right? You
It works
do
out
that,
really
yeah,
well for you.
it
Just ask
works really good,
Sophie Thatcher.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah, and I'd like to add to that rule: don't fornicate with robots.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we shouldn't be doing that. That's
No,
just terrible. Because we're learning, like, this is that point of AI where when does it become? Because you find out not only can you like dumb her down, like you can adjust this thing through this jailbreaking
yep,
fully. You can up her intelligence. You can do all kinds of things to her, and that's what he's done. But at what point is the robot awake? What point is the robot, you know, not a robot
yep,
anymore, or just a robot anymore? And you start getting that feeling really heavy now that um, like she kind of knows what's going on. This isn't good. Like this, you guys made this poor robot go off poor Sergey.
yep. And it literally is a situation where, you know, you start quick start feeling sorry for her.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. An odd. That's another thing. Just so everyone knows, if there's any issues online, I'm getting a notice that there's connection issues. We've had some storm through our area, so if there's any visual, whatever type of issues going on, please be patient with us tonight. We appreciate that. Well, moving right along.
Yeah.
This is also the point where you start to see that you found out that Lucas is also a companion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because as soon as you get that whole she's a robot, you see the whole interaction that they had the night before in a different light. You kind of
yep.
get that. They were telling their first stories, and it immediately I thought, I'm like, the whole Lewis story seemed awful weird. Like
Mhm.
the way they were dancing, and lo and behold, he is also a companion robot. Because old boy couldn't find a girlfriend of his own. And
Or boyfriend.
Eli,
His-
a
yeah.
boyfriend of his own. So that's going on. So you're looking at it going, well, what's going on here? Like you've got these robots, you jailbroke one, and their whole plan is she went crazy, blew through her programming, killed Sergey. We're gonna call it in. Like, oh my goodness, we restrained her. We what else are we gonna do? It was broken. Warranty should cover this, and nobody will know that we stole the $12 million out of the safe that is, just like his luggage, is coded with Stalin's birthday.
Which is a really interesting twist, if you will, or plot point, if you will. I thought it was kind of funny.
Right.
So, um, I'm sorry. I'm all of a sudden feeling very, very ill.
Oh no.
Like my stomach's turning, and I'm thinking I might have to jump off the screen, off the stream. Um, yeah,
Well, that's not good.
I'm gonna step out for a minute, Chris. If you, do you
Okay.
mind continuing for a
Yeah,
few minutes?
I'll pick up. I'll carry us along.
Thanks, man.
No problem. No problem. It's me. All right. So continuing on, we've got uh, we've got a moment where Sophie decides to break free, and when she breaks free, she's able to steal her boyfriend's phone, which controls all of her settings, including her intelligence level. In which case, she turns her intelligence up and is going to run away. Uh, Sadly, poor Lewis, the other companion, is now brought in, and he is going to be made to bring her in. So they jailbreak another robot. Again, terrible decision. I mean, we can't be jailbreaking robots. I mean, the Tesla robot drops. I'm sure crazy stuff's going to happen. Let's not do that. And they send out the male companion to go out and bring her back. Now, she's already been picked up on the road by a police officer. In which case, poor Deputy Hendricks comes and well, he doesn't make it. Lewis takes him out in order to get to Iris in order to bring her back. Uh, they this plays on this whole thing right now, where you've got these two robots that have true feelings. They've said them to the rest of the group about being in love with their significant others and being there for their significant others, and you can't help but feel some sort of sympathy for these robots that are now just playthings of in a game of power. How we doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I just feel
All right.
like uh feel like that I was gonna get sick there for a second, and so we'll see where we're
I'm glad
at.
it passed. I'm glad it passed. But yeah, this is. I was just saying how we feel sorry for the fact that now we're watching real people manipulate these robots to be evil,
Yep.
and it's not their intent. Their intent is literally to be an emotional support object for their companion, and they're now made to be uh, the devil's playthings.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure exactly where we are in the film, but it
Just killing off the deputy there.
oh, with the smashing of the face.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my gosh, it was so brutal,
it
so
was rough.
brutal. And I love the fact that you know, our heroine here, Iris, has I I don't know if you touched on it or not, but when she used the voice changer to
Hmm.
change her voice, that I thought that was
Oh yeah, just crack the phone where she's just slowly messing with it, and
yes.
I love the running away and trying to get as fast as possible so that way she can't hear him say, "Iris, go to sleep."
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of it that way, but you're right. That's exactly what it was. That's
Trying to get out of earshot so he can't turn her off with, should have used the clapper or something.
so
Oh,
bad, so
right
funny.
off to sleep.
Anyway, um, so once Iris and is at this point, she's back. She makes her way back to the house because, um, you know, Lucas Patrick forces her right.
And poor Eli, who kind of, I mean, you can say poor Eli, because he was out there trying to help bring her in,
Yeah.
and the scuffle for his gun, well, Sergei's gun that he had
Up.
goes off, and
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, the poor Eli scuffle for the gun, drops, goes off, takes him out. And that's what pushes Lewis down this road to where he no longer is a companion. So they were able to tweak him. Uh, and they bring Iris back to the cabin, and she's tied up. And this is a part where you really see the monster in Patrick come out. He or in Josh come out. Because one, he can't just turn her off and call the robot company. He needs to berate her and make her listen to all the things that he has to say to her. And he's got her sitting there. He dumbs her down to like 0% intelligence, and then proceeds to light her hand on fire. And I will say, Sophie Thatcher, I found in a little piece of trivia, she can cry out of one eye on command. And while her hand is burning and the look in her eyes, you're instantly, there is no question anymore. Josh is the monster, and poor Sophie's just the experiment caught in the middle. And you're like, oh, this is that power, the power that people seek to have over top of others, and that's what creates that evil.
Yep. And that's where you get the true twist of this movie, is that you know, you go into it thinking it's going to be, and I'm sorry if I'm rehashing the same things, but
Mhm.
you go into it thinking it's going to be like a Terminator thing where these robots are flipping out, killing people, but it's not. I mean, they're actually the victims in this, um, being
Yeah,
controlled by humans who, as humans do, seek power above all.
yeah, yeah,
So,
and just the way he just scolds her and berates her. You're gonna listen to me, and you're gonna. And meanwhile, Kat's like fed up. Everything's gone to hell. We've lost a friend. Uh, there's no way this is gonna go really right. Why haven't you called? What was the name of the company? These
Ghostbusters.
empathics. The ghost. No, not this time. But empathics. And why didn't you turn her off? And it's because it says his need to
Mhm.
control, and that's why he got her in the first place. Is he couldn't find a girl that he could just dominate over.
And Kat asked him several times through this thing, "Hey, this isn't part of the plan. Why don't you just turn her off?" And he
Mhm.
couldn't do it. I mean, he couldn't because of his own shortcomings. He was too afraid to have to face the world without her. You
Right.
know,
And he tries to play this off like, it's always the nice guys and always the nice guys.
yeah,
And she's just like, you're a scumbag.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where it goes back with trying to set her on fire, and you see that her arm's burning, and he orders her to shoot herself in the head, and she follows through. There's a bit of hesitation, but she follows through. And empathics comes, a couple couple of these Joe tech guys show up to pick up the robot that went bad. This happens, and they're going to pick her up, and you find out that, oh, well, it's okay because they record everything that happens. And the whole shoot in the head was really just him carrying out. She did this, and then she killed herself thinking it would wipe out any of the memories saved in her hard drives. But good thing we keep that in her heart. That's where her story is, in her heart,
Yeah.
and we can pull that and we can see it. And
I love the
Josh is like, oh
oh
no.
shit. I love the line between the 2 technicians where they're in the cab of the truck, and he's like, "So, do you see this often?" Because he's the new guy. "So you see this
Yeah.
often that they have these kinds of problems?" He goes, "Oh, no. That guy totally hacked her. He's fucked."
Yeah, it was really good where they're going in, and you think like, oh wow, this must happen a lot. And they're like, oh yeah, they dressed up the other robot as the cop, as the
Uh,
deputy, and like, oh, the police know, and they're like, oh, the police know, and they're like, oh yeah, oh well, we don't have to do anything. We just pick up the robot, and they put it in. You're led to kind of think for a short while, like, oh shit, this happens a lot. This ain't good. this is what we're scared of. And then we get in the car, and that moment where he's like, oh no, he totally jailbroke her. He's going to jail. Like,
Yeah, he's fine.
yeah, he's screwed. It's over. And um, so Josh tells Patrick, like, we got to stop these guys. So first, he got to stop Cat, and tells her to stop Cat. Well, he had the aggression turned a little too high, and he stopped her
Yeah,
by stabbing her in the back.
yeah.
So that didn't quite work out to his plans. Um, and yeah, it takes out the technicians. And I like the moment where, once again, here's where that part where she says in the beginning, that flicker of light and that coming alive.
Uh-huh.
She reboots inside the back of the van, and she reboots and comes back.
And saves
Right.
one of the technicians.
Saves one, by talking to Lewis, saying, "Hey, listen," or Teddy, uh,
Lucas.
Sid
No,
and
no, you're right.
Teddy, and yeah, Lucas.
Yeah,
He tells him, like, the love that he had for Eli, and whatnot, and he realizes, like, oh shit, he's sentient in a way too. Like, that was his everything,
yeah,
and he death by cattle prod.
yeah.
That's a new one sitting on the. I mean, didn't make it on my bingo card, but that was
Nope.
wild.
Nope.
Eat a cattle prod, takes out a robot. Good to know. We'll
Yeah.
keep that
Hey,
back there.
again, for future reference, on our grave reviews, books of things to do and not do.
A lot of horror tropes. You run across a cattle prod, you will take it, throw it in your backpack. You never know.
Never know. You might run
Never
it,
know.
'cause if you run into T2, that may be the way to kill. Which is why Patrick's name was Patrick, by the way.
Right. Right.
So,
Nice.
um,
Yeah, and Teddy, the technician, is just like so happy that she helped him, that he's like, you know what? You have full control over yourself. You are no one's master, basically.
yeah.
And gives her full stuff. And the good part, I love the way Josh gets it in the end.
So do
Another
I.
good kill, because she comes in and it's one of those, like, oh no no no, like, you don't get a say anymore, and they've got to struggle. And oh, the electronics corkscrew that I saw earlier when they were opening the wine, I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool,
Right in the temple.
right there. And it just, you see him like, oh, and the boom.
It was a good kill. It was a good one.
It was great. And she takes the money and she leaves and she's off. And there's a great moment at the end of this movie
Yes.
where she's got the whole Terminator hand. It's just nothing but robotics, plastic's all burnt off. And she drives past another car, looks over, and it's her with blonde hair. And she gives a little wave to show that, like, there are these automatons, these companions everywhere.
Yep.
Um, which another callback to the technician says is, you wouldn't believe how many people get these things so they could torture them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it. And it's those moments where you're now that the movie's over, there's some contemplations where the humor has pushed you through, when it's happening, to the
Yeah.
darker themes that set in for this movie, is the fear that most people have over AI. And most of those fear is rooted into who's programming AI, who is giving it the intelligence, who's
Exactly.
saying what the moral yes and no's, rights and wrongs are. That's what we're scared of. And we see it. The guy that gave all of the programming, all the orders, Josh, he's the one that set this murder up.
Yep.
Tweaked a bunch of things, not realizing that the consequences would be everyone's dead now. Good job. And yeah, what people will do, like, oh, that little comment, like, people get these robots just so they could do the things that you go to jail for if you do to a real person.
Yeah, and that's where I was going earlier when I was talking about the scene with um um the criminal saying that Kat and Josh gave me the okay. You were basically saying you were made for this. That's a really dark place to look at, because in his mind it's not assault, because that's what she's there for. But to her, you know,
It is.
it is because I mean, even though she's a robot, it's
It goes
you know,
against her programming,
it
let
goes against
alone
everything that she has. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So yeah, this movie, when you sit back and really look at it, it makes you ask a lot of questions about not about only about AI and robotics and that kind of thing, but it makes you think solely about you should be anyway asking yourself, as human beings, are we capable of how the more technology bright and that technology gets, the less human we will become
Yeah,
is
the
basically
hu
what the story tells me.
yeah, the human capacity for evil and, the
Yes.
layers of evil that, that can come from just, we worry about when the machines take over. We worry about, creating a robot that becomes smarter than we are, which we touch on in the movie with the,
Yep.
being able to flip the dial and stuff. But playing on those fears and realizing that those fears are actually rooted in the evil that might be behind them, that are setting these things up. So yeah, it's a thinker at the end. It hits a good stride, keeps running. It's a little bit of autopilot. You think, like it's okay, you get, and then, oh, of course, there's another robot. Oh, they turn him into a psychopathic killer, and then this whole like, oh, we'll blame it on the robot, and you think that's what's going to happen, and you're like, no,
Yep.
he's going to jail. Like this, we play it off like that so we don't get confrontation, but we need the robot so we can take it back and find out what sick stuff this guy did.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's those funny moments that carry you through. The movie doesn't slow down really at all, and then you're left at the end thinking about all the dark stuff you chuckled not too long after them happening, going, "Oh, that is scary." That's
Yes,
uh
it is.
that's a true horror, the evil of men and women.
So Chris, that all being said, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being a miserable dredge that made you angry, and 10 being the perfect movie that is John Carpenter's The Thing, where would you put this wonderful little film?
Yeah, this one's a hard one to rate, on our shit list. Solid movie. Even knowing the
Yes.
twist going into it, still played out really well. Still kept me interested,
Yep.
and locked in. So I give it a good horror movie rating. I'd say it's somewhere around 7.5, 8. Solid movie. Fun. I'd watch it again. Given a chance if I were to sit down. So in that aspect, it's good.
I
Um,
agree with you. I really do. That I've seen this one. Okay, so this should tell you, with all the twisty turnsy twisties, I've seen this 3
mhm,
times now, and I've enjoyed
right.
it all 3 times. So
Yeah.
so it's good enough that even though you know what the twists are, you can still really enjoy this movie. So yeah, I'm with you. I think 8, 8.5 is probably a good spot. I have no clue where we're gonna put this on our shit list.
Yeah. This one comes down to, I think the movie itself has some of the tropes, horror tropes that you would see in it. I think it's the thinking that you do afterwards, that really where the horror sets in.
Yep.
So movie being really good, that any movie that can make you think later on, about maybe some deeper meanings, and whatnot afterwards is a good movie. But it's after the movie.
Yep.
So yeah, I solid. It is definitely better than The Witch.
Yes, it's definitely
Definitely
better than
better than Uncaged. Absolutely better than Uncaged.
I think for me, the companion is probably gonna wind up, somewhere around, um somewhere around probably around, 38, 39 range.
You're funny, dude. I was going to say The Faculty. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's a solid movie. It definitely deserves a better rating than some of the crappier ones that we've covered. You know, different levels of crappy. There was crappy, as in, Uncaged, and then there was, crappy but still had some fun.
like Black Sheep.
Right, right, exactly.
I think
Um,
this one rates just a little better than Renfield.
okay, I'm solid with that tier. Just outside. Um, some. I mean, we've got some decent movies. LG will be happy. We'll give you Sharknado on this one, uh, only
Very well.
because of what Sharknado leads to. I think without Sharknado 2, Sharknado's nothing. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I agree. I agree. We're
but
gonna lock
yeah,
that
we're
one
gonna
in.
lock to that in. That's solid movie. Go watch it if you have it. Definitely, if you've made it through this review, we've spoiled it very well for you. But that's what we do. We kind of go over the movie, and we had some fun. I think I watched it the second time uh, that I've seen it. And I'd watch it again. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that we are going to try something new tonight here
Ooh,
on Thursday Night
little
Frights.
next week action.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if you guys feel like we're rushing tonight. I don't know what happened. I literally just was like, "Oof," I just I don't know what happened. Anyway, um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let fate choose
There's some good
our
movies on this list. We're gonna add some more to it, I think, but
Yep.
we'll see
So
what happens.
are you ready, Chris?
Let's do it. Where are we going?
Mhm. Round and round.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, we've been talking about this one for a while,
midsummer.
bro. We've been talking about it for a while. We're creeping up on that season. I'm good with this, man.
All right. So next week, because of the dreaded wheel, it's going to bring out some love. It's going to bring out some stuff that we hate. We're going to watch Miss Pugh in our next week's show. Where we'll be talking about
Have
Midsommar.
you seen this one yet?
I have. This is a hard
Okay.
one.
This one's a wild ride. Those Swedes are funny, and I say that because I'm a quarter Swedish. But
Schweetz.
yeah, Swedes and shrooms. Maybe stay away from that area for June.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I don't want to
Especially
be
after watching this. When you show up and things look like it's too good to be true in Sweden, they are.
probably are. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be the May Queen. I just don't. No.
I'm
So
no.
that being said, Chris, would you like to say anything to our fine family of gentle peoples before we sign off tonight?
Well, thank you for everyone that joined us in the live chat. If you're listening to us later, consider joining us live on YouTube on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., where you can become one of the Talking Dead just by showing up and saying something in the chat. We've got a wonderful group of people in there. We appreciate all of you that show up and all of you that give us the support that you do. Saying that, if you could like, subscribe, and comment, helps the algorithm pump us out there for more movies. We are, how many movies? We got 65?
65, 66 movies right now.
So
Yeah.
yeah, also in the chat right now, LG threw in the bio link. That is bio.link/graverev. That takes you to the links for all of the links of Grave Reviews. We've got the Gram, we've got the Talk, we've got the Twix, we've got Facebook, we've got emails. Pick any of those ways to DM us, email us. You've got suggestions, you've got feelings on a movie that we've covered, you've got feelings on a movie you'd like to see us covered. Let us know. Shoot us a message. We're
We'll add it.
always up for
We'll
answering
add
it.
it to the wheel.
Yeah, we've got this wheel of pain. At least one of them will finally be off next week. So we've been talking about this one since probably like 20 movies in.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. It's been a while. It's been a
so
while.
she'll finally get on there and we'll see where we put this. So yeah, until next week when we cover this crazy movie Midsommar, stay spooky, friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you being here so much. Thank you again to our Talking Dead. For the people who are watching on X tonight, and wanted to let you know if you happen to swing on over to YouTube next time we're live, please join the chat. We would love to make you a member of our Talking Dead simply by you being here. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being patient with me tonight, because I don't know what happened there about mid-show. My stomach turned, and I thought I was going to have to step out. So, that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, until we see you again next week when we talk about Midsummer. Wow, those crazy sweets. Anyway, please remember, may all of your nightmares be groovy. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.